Hi again, Connor here, and in this lecture, which is lecture 5 of the How to Learn section, we're going to go through what's known as the journey method. Now, the journey method is probably my favorite or second favorite technique for learning and memorizing information. And if you can pay attention during this lecture especially and go through the exercise, which is super important, then you're going to learn one of the most powerful techniques that's ever been created for memorizing and learning. So the journey method is very popular among memory experts. So if you've ever seen any memory demonstrations where people memorize long lists of numbers or long texts of information, or decks of cards, or whatever it is, usually there's some form of the journey method in use there. Now, the journey method combines the narrative flow of the linking method and also the structure of the PEG systems, which we've already gone through both of those, into one powerful system. And it basically works by mentally going on a route that you are very familiar with. So this could be a route through your house, or the route that you take to school, or something that you do on a daily basis. Now, the journey method has set stages that you place information in, and the information can be easily retrieved once it's placed in a stage. This is going to become more evident to you as you go through the next exercise. Now, the first thing we need to do in the journey method is prepare a mental route that consists of 10 stages. Now, we're just going to start off with 10 stages because it's a nice easy number to start with. And we're also probably just going to start off with going through your house because that's going to be very familiar to you, and it's going to be easy for us to create 10 stages. So what we need to do is we need to choose significant and memorable landmarks as stages along the route. And this could be your front door, then your hallway, then your sitting room, kitchen, etc. And you want to make sure that your journey follows a logical direction. And this is to preserve the order of what you're going to memorize. So if you want to memorize lists of information, then you want to make sure that it's in the correct order. And in order to do this, you want to make sure that your journey is logical. So if you were going on a journey through your house, you wouldn't pick front door, upstairs bathroom, downstairs kitchen, upstairs bedroom, because that's kind of all over the place. So if you can, write down 10 stages of your first route and then make sure that you know your route off by heart. And in fact, don't do this right now because I'm going to show you mine first, and then that's going to give you a better idea of what I'm talking about. Now, it should be very easy because you're using your house and that's very familiar to you. So let's move on to my example. And here is my example of a simple route that I would use through my house. So stage 1 would be my front door because that's where I start off. Then stage 2 is my hallway. So after my front door, I walk into my hallway. Then I turn right and go into my sitting room, which is stage 3. Next is stage 4, which is after my sitting room, I go into the kitchen. Then stage 5 is the downstairs bathroom. Then I walk over to the stairs, which is stage 6. Then I go to the upstairs bathroom, which is stage 7. Then stage 8 is my bedroom. Then I go all the way outside of my house to stage 9, which is the back garden. And then stage 10 is the garage. So you can see the logical progression there is basically a way that I would walk through my house. And if you can, as you do this, mentally walk through your house, then you're going to be able to go through these stages. And that's what I want you to do now. Mentally go through the stages that you can use from your house and write them down. Now, it's very important that you write them down, or else you can often lose track of each stage. So write down the stages and try and get 10. And once you have the 10 stages written out, run through the journey a few times in your mind, and that way it's going to lock in this specific journey. Then what we're going to do is we're going to place a certain item in each stage of the journey, and then each time we revisit that stage, that item is going to be there, and then we're going to be easily able to remember it. And that's what I have here. Once everything is done, all we have to do is to recall the list and review the journey, and then we'll have the stuff that we need to remember. So I'm going to pause the video there, and we're going to take a break, And in the next video, we're going to go through and memorize 10 different specific objects by putting them in to the journey method. But right now, I want you to make sure that you have 10 specific stages within your journey method that you can go through mentally in your mind without having to review them on paper. So again, make sure you have those 10 stages and then move on to the next video.